They never expected him to fight back. Not like this. Less than 48 hours after Darius went public, the Solara Group boardroom was on fire, metaphorically and politically. Executives scrambled to control the narrative. PR teams issued panicked statements. Shareholders were furious. But none of that moved Darius. Because he wasn't chasing headlines, he was chasing the truth. And the truth was ugly. Anonymous testimonies poured in. A former receptionist described being trained to profile guests who didn't fit the Solara aesthetic. A security staffer admitted he was given a list of names, code-labeled by race. And then there was the whistleblower. She didn't want her name used. Not yet. But the document she leaked? It was real. A Solara internal memo dated 6 months prior. It outlined an unofficial guest image strategy, advising staff to prioritize clientele who visually reinforce luxury standards. In the margin, someone had written, "Translation: white, wealthy, and wrinkle-free." Darius read it 3 times. His hands trembled. He had built mile-mark equity to acquire companies and restore dignity to spaces where it was often denied. Solara was supposed to be different. He'd given them a chance, hoped the culture could be corrected from within. But this wasn't just unconscious bias. This was policy. That night, Darius sat in the dark of the presidential suite, the city glittering below him. Maya Cole, his younger sister and trusted legal strategist, stood by the window reviewing files on a tablet. "Heads are gonna roll," she said quietly, "but they'll try to pin this on the lower levels. Scapegoats. Disposables." Darius nodded. "We're not going to let that happen." He reached into the folder on the table, not the legal one, not the footage archive. A third file, one he hadn't opened in years. Inside it, a purchase contract with blank fields and a quietly negotiated clause. Maya's eyes widened. "You're not thinking of—" "I am. You'll destroy Solara." Darius looked up at her, eyes colder than steel. "Good." The next morning, board members gathered in a private video meeting. Darius appeared on screen in silence. When the chairman finally spoke, it was clipped, defensive. "You've made your point, Mr. Miles. We acknowledge the need for internal review, but this campaign has hurt the company's valuation. We can't sustain this bad press." Darius let them talk, let them fumble. Then he slid the contract across his desk and into view of the camera. Signed, dated, and activated with one stroke of a pen. "I'm invoking the buyback clause," he said. "Effective immediately. Solara Group is no longer a subsidiary. It's a full mile-mark asset." Murmurs broke into shouts. "You can't." "I can, and I just did." The chairman's face turned red. "You're bluffing." Darius raised an eyebrow. "Ask legal." A beat of silence. Then one board member disconnected. Then another. That afternoon, every Solara Grand Location's digital signage changed. Out with the gold leaf logos. In with a new one. Mile mark, where equity lives. Travis's image, caught mid-smirk from the security footage, had become a viral meme. But Darius wasn't done with him yet, because a new file had just landed on his desk. One that changed everything. It was an email sent 6 weeks ago from Travis to someone in corporate. The subject line? Miles booking flagged. Darius read it once, then again, because the person Travis had sent that email to was still on the executive team, and their name was highlighted in the leaked training memo. What happens when the man you just exposed wasn't working alone? And the real puppeteer is still pulling strings from inside your own boardroom. Darius had seen a lot in boardrooms: manipulation, deception, ego masked behind Italian suits. But this was betrayal. The email from Travis wasn't just casual. It included his guest reservation flagged with a warning: possible DEI stunt, watch behavior, escalate if needed. It was sent to a senior VP, a woman who'd stood next to Darius at the last board retreat, smiled in his face, toasted to equity. Her initials were in the bottom corner of that training memo, too. She'd known. She'd helped design the system he thought he was dismantling. By noon, she was sitting across from him, summoned, not invited. "I can explain." Darius cut her off with one sentence. "You're terminated, effective immediately. And your severance? It's going into the restitution fund." She stood slowly, her voice shaking. "You can't just..." He didn't flinch. "You were never building a brand. You were building a filter, one that sorted out anyone who didn't look like you." The door shut behind her, and just like that, the last piece of the puzzle fell. In the following weeks, Darius launched a full-scale audit of every Solara property. He posted an open hotline for anyone mistreated by the chain, past or present. Thousands called, emails flooded in, testimonials poured across social media like a rising tide. Maya Cole led the legal restructuring. Key staff were fired, others were retrained, entire locations were renamed, and the man in the soaked hoodie, he became the face of the rebuild. But it wasn't about revenge. It was about something bigger. Darius held a press conference on the hotel steps, not with a speech, but with a promise. "You deserve to walk into any space without shrinking, without proving, without permission. You belong because you are. And if that truth is uncomfortable for some, good. Comfort has protected bias for too long." He didn't ask for applause. He simply walked away. Today, every Solara property bears a new plaque near the entrance. This space is under reconstruction, not of walls, but of values. Because sometimes justice doesn't look like a courtroom. Sometimes it looks like the moment a black man in a hoodie holds the master key to the world that once rejected him, and walks in, not for himself, but for everyone they tried to keep out.